friendly. Like the ditch arms, we laid it in the ditch as the tractor and cart stayed on the road, and then we put the ditch arm right over top of the big culvert, and then we were able to pull the hose through the culvert without having it rub on the culvert. And
oh, so you used the ditch arm to help it get through the culvert?
Yeah, so you didn't have to have a guy keeping away rubbing on the edge of the culvert.
Never would have thought of that.
That was nice. In the site, when you got curves, you know, through loops, you can just drive beside it and take all your loops out, and then go out in the field and stretch it out to get it tighter. A lot less unhooking and hooking up than any other cart, because you can drive beside it and you can roll up a mile in one shot rather than having to disconnect every 2-3 sections.
That's one thing I noticed whenever you were doing that, how much more comfortable position you look like you were sitting in the tractor.
Oh yeah, no doubt. You're just turned to the right like you're looking at an implement rather than having to be all the way around. And you can get it dialed in pretty precisely for your pattern.
I noticed that I got video of that one spot. That hose is just barely, there was a coupler.
Yep.
Well, you were going forward, and I got in front of you quite a ways, and so, you know, that hose should be sitting still, and you were coming towards it rolling while driving, and that coupler was just backsliding, probably maybe a foot every 10-15 seconds, you know, and that kept just enough tension on there that it really was rolling nice.
Yeah, you can dial in your speed, and so you got a little tension to get it tight, but yet you're not tugging on those couplers to, you know, cause problems down the road of getting leaks, you know, because we've had problems with that in the past of carts you've had to back roll. You get tired and impatient and you try to pull too much, well, you get a lot of tension on those couplers, and then over time you got to cut them off and reconnect them because you have leaks, because it stretches them. The flotation tires are great. They floats through a lot of mud for as much hose as you got on there, really.
Well, they almost got stuck once, and that was with a full cart.
And it was extreme, you know, it was muddy, but still it
still pulled it through.
Yep.
Yeah, I noticed that. I did a couple pictures and some video by the tires coming through here, and this looks like a fairly soft field. And, and it really wasn't leaving much of a mark at all.
Yep. So. Yeah, and definitely that remote is really handy. It's small enough you can fit it in your hand and hit all the buttons without having to reposition your hand. You know, and it does, yeah. Yeah, you can put it around your neck so you can still, you know, run your hydraulic levers if you want, or steer. And it's durable, where, you know, being it on this type of stuff, if you drop it on accident, it's metal, so you don't have to worry about it cracking or anything.
Just again, because I didn't have it on record before, what did you say you'd run for carts before?
I ran a hydro cart and a pucks cart, and this cart by far is the best cart. I've been doing this for 8-10 years, and this is way night and day better.
Can you elaborate on some of the reasons why?
You can roll up a mile without or you could roll up all of it in theory if you had it, you know, it's pretty straight, by not having to disconnect any couplers rather than having to disconnect every 2 to 3 sections, so you don't get too much tension on those couplers. And just being able to drive beside it forward is huge, and the level wind part of it is a lot better because you can get it dialed in around your couplers if you want to, so it's not right on top of the coupler, you know, right away.
And I noticed you either must have sped up a little bit when the couplers came through.
Yeah,
it seemed like it got slack.
Yep,
and
I usually
pulled
try
slack
to,
and then continued.
Try to speed up when the couplers come through, just so there's less tension on it. Because when that hose bends around that coupler, they say not right away, but over time you'll see it become a problem.
On the outside of the hose.
Yeah.
As it's going around.
Yeah, it'll create it. You know, it cuts it almost. You know, if you get it too tight. So it's really easy. Just if you got any decent tractor, you can just easily speed up a couple gears, and then once it comes through, then you just go back down to where you were at. So, and then also when you're laying out and you're able to swing the cart all the way off to one side or the other, you can just we just hook it to the applicator is how we do it, and then we just control our flow on the tractor. So we just set our speed however fast we want to go. If we're smooth, you know, in the fields, so you're not rough beating around, and we just dial our flow in on our tractor, and you can just drive it out, so there's no tension even on that. So virtually the hose is only going to wear out when you're the one you're pulling around, ever should.
That's how you're laying your drags out?
So before we would hook it up and we would put it in float and then just slowly drive away. Well, this way we're doing it. This cart's able to unroll fast enough that we can drive easily 3-4 mile an hour, which is a good speed, and just power unroll it. And there's not all that tension, you know, once you get around that corner, so you don't have to worry about fatigue there either.
Well, it just makes it a better rollout because you're able to get it straighter.
Yeah.
If you unroll too fast, then you got waves going down your road.
So if somebody's not able to get out in the hose humper instantly, that applicator guy doesn't have to worry about it as much.
Would you say it's would be any easier or have less of a learning curve for new guys? I mean, a lot of the guys that do this, the owner usually rolls and unrolls hose because of the cost of the hose. You're saying he rolls a lot of hose. I mean, would you say that there would be a quicker learning curve?
Oh, no doubt, yeah. Okay. You'd easily catch on more, and you're not having to turn around, like you said. It's right beside you, just to the side you got to turn. It's easier to see and be able to control what you're doing. Way easier than any other brand. And you can still fit 2 miles of 8-inch hose on it, and it's still a normal width, and you know, maneuverability is still there for having the capacity is what it holds.
You still get another mile on this?
Yeah. Really? Yep. We've had it'll be 1 3/4 of 8-inch, and a section of 7-inch, 6-inch, and 5.5-inch drags on here.
Okay, so you got a little more.
Yeah, practically. Well, it's
practically
smaller. 2.